Namaste. Welcome to Vedic Vidya. My name is Jeffrey Armstrong, Kavindra Rishi. Vedic Vidya is available exclusively on Chitty Media, English channel, on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. IST. Our topic tonight is the much misunderstood Hindu Vedic devas and devis who are in charge of Mother Nature, or why the European colonizers of India labeled the Hindu Vedic worldview pagan. People do name-calling when they're trying to dominate others sometimes, and they give inappropriate names because either they don't want to know the culture or they don't know the culture. This happened on an epic scale when European powers came to India. India calls herself Bharat. If you hear that name, that's what it means. It's the original name. India is a later on name. And one of the things that was so misunderstood is the concept that nature is filled with beings other than ourselves, other than the animal kingdom and all the other kingdoms. There's one more department that is filled with what are called devas and devis, or masculine and feminine beings who are conducting the laws of nature. So think about this for a moment. Everything that we experience in our civilizations, the roads we're on, the car we're driving, the fuel we get, the food at our cash register, at the grocery store, all of those things imply a multitude of persons who labored and toiled and worked and were creative and did a hard day's work, and we're receiving the benefit of all of that. Now, wouldn't it be intelligent to have a day every once in a while where we say thank you to all the workers who make life possible? And doesn't it make sense if our life has to run that way? Otherwise, we would have a quite miserable existence. We wouldn't have much of anything, and we couldn't all make it for ourselves. And this is why some of the family names were Miller. Miller was someone milling the grains, right? And Taylor, because you needed the tailor so you'd have breeches to wear and a dress to wear. So Miller and Taylor are just saying to us, there are many different beings who have special skills that we don't have, who are doing things that we appreciate ever so much that make our life worthwhile. Now, if you met your tailor and your suit and clothes were just marvelous, or your dress, wouldn't you say thank you to them? So this is where I think it was purposeful misunderstanding, but let's call it a misunderstanding, took place. That nature is no different. It's a huge corporation. It has departments and department heads. The heads of departments are called devas and devis by being either masculine or feminine in nature, in disposition, and it is they who were modeled after, according to the Vedas, the male and female divine. Now note for a moment that the Abrahamic religions did not teach about a feminine counterpart to the masculine deity that was called the Supreme Being. So the Supreme Being, instead of being the Supreme Beings, male and female, in that viewpoint was the Supreme Being only male. And look at the mischief that caused in our culture. And what a horrible thing it would be if we only had men in our culture and all the females were gone. Oh, dreadful day. I'd take many earthquakes instead of that. That's not funny. So this wonderful chemistry that exists in nature between male and female has a higher manifestation, which is the devas and devis, and with them we have role models for our various departments of activity. So think of them as the persons in the corporate seats that are making all the beautiful things of our life happen. The rain, the wind, the waters, the fire, all of it are the byproducts of brilliant, intelligent, male and female divines called devas and devis, mistakenly called idols, implying that they were somehow useless or untrue or not really what they were supposed to be, or that they didn't exist only in primitives' minds. But is it primitive to think of the corporations around the world that are making everything that we're eating and living in and doing right now? Is that primitive, or is that intelligent? So just transport it. The original Vedic Hindu worldview is that the whole cosmos is full of beings who are making everything happen. So shouldn't we say thank you? So if before you eat dinner, the fire on which you cook dinner, if you take a little of dinner and offer it to the fire and say, thank you so much for making dinner. Thank you so much for growing the food. Thank you so much for being the fire and the water and all these things. Thank you for my beautiful life. Isn't gratitude the attitude? So from the Hindu Vedic perspective, this is the missing vitamin in all the Abrahamic world religions. They call them angels and then they don't talk to them. And they do have a few names for them, but they don't have functions for them. They don't have the culture of them. So what did that lead to? Well, how was the feminine treated in North America? Let's use that as an example. Can't own property, persona non grata practically, can't have a voice, can't vote. How did that happen? Let me tell you that nothing resembling that would ever happen in India. There, the feminine divine is honored twice a year. She has more names than even the masculine divine because she does so many things. But listen, did you ever study your mother and see how much she did for you? I jokingly say, the females have 10 arms and we only have 4. Well, we're good with our 4, but they're amazing with their 10. And so this is an appreciative worldview. This is one that says, I see your beauty, I see your functionality, but it comes from a divine source. So on the way to the divine, the ultimate divine, as you heard in our previous class, from Prakriti, in Prakriti, it's a big corporation run by devas and devis who are in charge of all the departments of nature that give us all the gifts that make our life wonderful and beautiful. Thank you is the right attitude, and I promise to behave well so that I don't destroy the planet, is the other thing that we should be doing. And I don't think we are right now, but I hope we start doing more. That's a good Hindu for you. Hope we don't destroy the planet. Hope we take care of future generations. Hope we restore the earth with the devas and the devis and say thank you. So for a moment, let's think of this as Mother Nature and Father Nature. And that's where the whole gender thing got started. And ultimately, in Brahman, in the very origin, the source of that is there. But here, there's archetype is the word, a male archetype and a female archetype, and then all kinds of things in varying degrees of maleness and femaleness. Every indigenous culture on our planet has talked to the various beings that they sensed were surrounding them. So many cultures had an intuition of this. So many honored both male and female beings, personalities, parts of nature that they knew were interacting with them in subtle ways. And this was elaborated to a tremendously amazing and beautiful degree in the yoga culture of India. The same yoga culture, by the way, that spread throughout the world over the last 50 years to mostly the females who were mostly the neglected archetype in our culture. And now we see this blossoming and renaissance of this understanding that our maleness and femaleness and all of the beauties of life are being given to us by beings who are working on behalf of the supreme beings. Supreme beings, male and female, the various beings working behind the scenes in nature on our behalf. It was probably this worldview that existed before Christianity and Islam and Judaism. Somehow they decided not to talk about that anymore. I'm sure it was somebody's executive decision. But sadly, this took the life out of Prakriti, out of nature, out of the world we live in. It took the life force and the beauty and diminished it. But in the Vedic worldview, it's just like in this world, if somebody did something lovely for you, you wouldn't say only thank you to men or women, or to this or that, or to this politician, or to that person in their craft. If anyone did something wonderful for you, you'd say thank you to all of them. And if all of them are male and female, then you'd learn their names. And this is exactly what happened in India. They learned the names of the devas and devis. And they knew that they weren't the ultimate destination. They were the intermediates between the ultimate destination and the many beautiful things that we were receiving in life. Showing gratitude, my friends, is the attitude. That's the yogic attitude also. Vedic Vidya means shining the light of truth. Tune in to Vedic Vidya on the Chitty English channel Sunday night at 7 p.m. IST. My name is Kavindra Rishi, Jeffrey Armstrong. See you next time, and have a Namas day.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.